Hey guys, and welcome back to Ratchet and Clank 3. We're heading directly to the Tyrannoids' home base today, so let's get right on into the gameplay.
So we're gonna go invade a primitive culture, stamp all over their shit.
Yeah.
And,
The funny thing is they're being used. You know, I doubt they would have even attacked anyone if Nefarious wasn't giving it all this, like, oh, you've got to help me in my evil plans. I would have said nefarious plans, but that's kind of beating a dead horse at this point.
Are they being used? I mean, I don't know if this game has like a Monsterpedia, like the second game, but I don't know what their contract is with Nefarious, necessarily.
Yeah, what are they getting out of this?
I don't know, they're just, predisposed to be assholes.
I suppose. Ratchet don't care, he's getting paid. He's a mercenary, you ever think about that? This cute cartoonish character is a friggin' mercenary.
It's why, in the later games, when they try and make it a whimsical DreamWorks kind of thing, there's just such a disconnect, weird juxtaposition. You know, Ratchet, the PS2 games, they were kind of in that sort of edgy mascot period. You had your Slies and your Jacks and all that.
I loved it so much, mate. That period of history.
It was a good period, and it worked well for Ratchet, because he uses weapons, he uses guns, he blows things up, he kills, for lack of a better way to put it. So it makes sense that he'd be like an edgy, alien guy running around, being cheeky. So it doesn't make much sense for him to suddenly be this happy-go-lucky, naive Disney character in the later games. It doesn't make much sense.
Well, I guess they softened him up a little bit to try and appeal to the masses a bit more.
Yeah, it just when the gameplay is this game about using extreme weaponry against other living things, it just seems there's a huge how do they put it in the articles, the narrative dissonance.
Oh yeah, Ludo narrative dissonance.
You don't even need the Ludo. Like, what is the Ludo even for? You can do like
wasn't he a character like Labyrinth, or am I thinking of something else?
Like Ratchet and Clank started as the comedy is very cynical. It's about consumerism.
Yeah.
It's about the reason Ratchet and Clank are such good protagonists is they're outsiders to a world of complete insipidness in the first few games.
Get a bit deep here, Charlie. Get a bit deep.
And because there's not really anyone, everyone's just kind of an asshole. Everyone's kind of in the first few games. Everyone's just kind of they're just arrogant and self-absorbed. Kind of
mean, actually.
Yeah, and it just seems like a very weird property to then turn around at the last moment and go, actually, this is going to be our super whimsical, attempt to be a children's Disney franchise.
I hate Ratchet's new design, by the way. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, it's not cool. It's not cool. But I do think some of the I've always preferred Ratchet's original sort of first game outfit. I think the sort of armor stuff that he wears on the covers of the later PS2 games have become a bit haven't aged quite very well.
Nah.
I kind of like the Gladiator outfit because that's like a bit sleeker. It's kind of a little cooler. But the ones in 2 and 3, I just think they're very 2004. Look how cool we are.
Oh, we got some multiplier bonuses going on.
Are you ever going to use the refractor on these guys, like I alluded to?
No.
It's something cool, man. You wouldn't see that in any other playthrough.
Oh, hang on. I'm trying to, not die here.
So this is, I guess they're going for, the a bit of a D-Day level here.
Oh, I keep pressing the map button. Yeah, pretty much.
Very aggressive, Tom. I keep it in the map! Fuck you!
It's okay, I've got it under control. Is this like a shield thing here? Yes, it is.
Yeah, hit the giant tits with glowing nipple.
Take that, nipple.
Are there any female Tyrannoids? This is always the thing I always ask when you see really ugly alien races in science fiction.
Yeah.
Like, are the women sexy?
That's your first port call, is it? Friend the eye of the needle here.
You're doing fine, Tom. You're doing fine. It's a hard game. Ratchet games weren't piddly easy back in the day. Oh man, okay. You blow up every crate in this game with a giant bomb, and now you're conserving ammo on the titty.
That's a sentence I never thought I'd hear. Is this like a ship or a giant robot?
We're on a sand desert, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay, so we Jack and Daxter free right now.
That game had deserts in it, didn't it?
Well, look, alright, I'm not a reviewer, I'm a commentator, okay? Even when you're sick, you give it all this, I love it.
I know, man, I've got a bit of a bug. A lot of people I'm seeing around at the moment have bugs. It must be those going in with those autumn flus.
Well, you know, the seasons change, it suddenly goes from, like, mild to cold. You know, people with shitty immune systems are going to get cold, it's just,
It's beautiful
the way
moment.
it is.
The trees are a lovely colour this time of year.
They are indeed.
I'm sorry, that's not what people get me on commentaries to talk about. Yeah, you suck, Tom! Bad at games!
Oh, yes, monkey thing! Sorry, I like, momentarily lost all train of thought and just saw the monkey and not the thing it's riding.
So, as I was discussing in the last part about all the cut content in this game, the stuff they didn't get time to implementing, like races and spaceship combat, which were, you know, they were in the first two games quite prominently. If in the Insomniac Museum, there's actually a unfinished racetrack, which this car was supposed to be used in, and it was like a jungle racetrack, so I assumed it was going to be on the jungle planet.
Yeah.
And it was removed. And the dearth of content in this game, I think, is my biggest problem in it. But I think like it stuck out to me a lot when I was young playing the game. I don't know if you had that feeling too.
I was just happy to be playing video games, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Only I was sitting there as a 10-year-old like, this isn't quite up to par.
Sipping your rosé and whatnot.
No, it just goes to show. Really, I have no critical mind. I just like the first thing I played, and then everything else sucks from then on.
Yeah.
That seems to be how it is.
Well, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, so long as you can, you know...
No, but I'm right about this, Tom.
okay, well...
There's a skill point in this level that took me ages to figure out, where you have to snipe all the guys on the towers.
Nice.
I can see from your Rambo approach here that is not going to be your tactic.
Oh, I don't even know what I'm doing, to be honest. I'm going to back up into the breast. Here we go. There we go.
I don't know how much of a focus the multiplayer mode was when making this game, but there's a lot of recycled content from it in the main story. Like there's cars from the multiplayer, you can have 2 players on it. A lot of the arena battle areas are just multiplayer maps, I'm pretty sure. So there's and in fact I'm pretty sure like, you know, a lot of the objectives you have in the arena maps in this game are just like bot play in multiplayer. But yeah, I never got a chance to really play the multiplayer much myself.
Just making sure I've got everything in there. When it came to multiplayer for me, it's obviously got to be co-op in Gladiator or Deadlocked. Man, we brought this up last time, but I'm just going to say it again before I forget and bring it up as a new tangent later on down the line. Deadlocked was fucking fun in co-op.
Yeah, Deadlocked was a lot of fun in co-op, but like, it was a shame that I never got to use the online multiplayer modes in those games, because I had dial-up when I bought these games, man.
Oh, poor Charlie.
And even then, I wouldn't know how to. And by the time I got broadband, I think these services were shut down. But it was always. But I did get to play online in the HD collection.
Nice.
Which is, it's a shame they added it to 3, but didn't add it to Gladiator HD. Or at least I don't know. Maybe they did, because I don't know if the co-op was online in the PS2 version.
This is not the best strats I've ever had. Good stuff, good
I
stuff.
thought you were a legend with the turrets, Tom.
No, I love the mini turrets, mate. It just gives you a little bit of support when you need it most.
You were like, this is my jam.
Yeah.
Last episode.
Take them all out. Yeah, double kill. That's what I'm talking about.
Man, those guys have terrible aim. I don't know. I was never a patient guy to use the turrets back in the day. Eventually, I'd use them when it was time to upgrade every weapon.
You know, what's the word? Completionist. There you go.
I 100%ed like all of these games. But I can't remember what you get for 100%ing this one.
Well, apparently you have to go through the game like twice to 100% everything. That's why we're just doing an 90% run here.
Yeah, because once you beat the game, you can they uncap your weapon levels. Like I think you can go up to level 5 on your first playthrough, and then on the second you can go up to level 10. So if you want to max out everything you got to go through again. Ratchet and Clank games are great for that. I think that they were the first games with New Game Plus that I played. And that was really exciting because it was weird to play through a game again with like, look, but I'm the badass I was from the end of the last game. I'm sure loads of games had New Game Plus before Ratchet and Clank. Just my first experience with that.
I love when the game plays itself for me.
This is like this was an omen of how what video games would become in the future. Ratchet and Clank's turrets, it was all downhill after that. Hand-holding games.
Here's a question. What's your favourite weapon out of the PS2 Ratchets? You can do like one per game, and then for the future trilogy.
You just give me a 5-minute task, so you can just play the game while I talk. Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite weapon in the first game? I think I got to go with the Rhino, man, because in that game you really had to grind to get it, and it was a real reward. It was like, because that game's hard, and after like hours of grinding, nowadays they just give it to you for collecting a few things. But back then it was like, holy shit, this thing's just ripping through the entire game. It was amazing. I'm surprised they got that thing to run in the first game. And I can't really remember individual weapons from the other games. Yeah, I think the rhinos are just the most fun. Them are the most empowering in each game.
Yeah.
I can tell you that my most disappointing weapon was the Zodiac in Ratchet and Clank 2.
I can't even recall what that is, to be honest. Jump up!
In Ratchet and Clank 2... Oh my god, Tom, what's going on here?
I don't know, man. I don't know, I'm just like stuck in a loop.
Did you know if you use the Terror guys, these little guys won't notice you, even in the regular levels?
Oh.
Haha.
How about that?
Even if you transform right in front of them. Yeah, as I was saying, no, in Ratchet and Clank 2, you get the Rhino 2. Like, you know how in Ratchet and Clank 2 you're in a different galaxy, so Gadgetron, the guys who make the weapons in the first and third games, aren't relevant there. But you can still buy the Rhino 2, which is a Gadgetron trademark from the Gadgetron seller. But then Megacorp have their own super weapon called the Zodiac, and it was like 2 million bolts, and the Rhino 2 was like 1.5 million, I think. And at the time, I was really struggling with the final level of the game, so I was like, okay, I'm going to save up and get one of the super weapons. And I ended up getting the Zodiac because it was more expensive instead of the Rhino 2, and it was just like, all it did was this thing where like the screen would go white, and then some enemies would die. It was really disappointing. I feel like a lot of games at the time had that weapon, where it's like, oh, the screen went... so much destruction, and then some random enemies die. But the programming in the game isn't actually good enough to like accurately aim at anything you want it to aim at. But then I got the Rhino 2, and it was really good.
Yeah, explode! Everything explode!
Thanks for giving me this topic to talk about, Tom.
No worries, mate. No worries. Well, I gotta give the co-coms something to do while I play the game, you know.
Don't worry, you gotta concentrate. This game isn't like an easy walk in the park, man. To be honest.
Sorry, I panic easily. Okay. I'm trying to think what my favourite weapons are. Like, out of these, that's good. That's pretty good. I love the whip. That's probably my favourite out of, like, your base ones. Gotta give some love to the Mini Torrent Glove, though.
I think I was always a big fan of the... that's something I was going to bring up. Ratchet and Clank 3 is one of the few Ratchet games to not feature the grind boots.
Huh.
Another cut piece of content.
Yeah, you're right about that. I didn't even think about that, sort of.
Which is pretty iconic to the series, I think. I mean, I think, what was it, like, I think, was Sonic Adventure the first game to have, like, grinding in it?
SA2, but if we're talking, like, handheld, Sonic Advance 2.
Yeah, I think, well, I'm talking, like, in a 3D world.
Well, okay, Mr. Man.
Yeah, I think I didn't play the Sonic Adventure games until after Ratchet, and I thought, oh my god, I am not in safe hands with these this grinding. I'm like if you jump while grinding in something like Sonic Heroes, it's over. You're dead.
Yeah.
This had like really, you were locked in. It was a lot safer. No, I was going to say some of my favorite gadgets were definitely the grind boots and the slingshot in the first game. Those are really fun.
I love Ratchet 3, but you're right. Like the first Ratchet game definitely feels more platformer as opposed to like third-person shooter.
Yeah, I mean, just the removal of the grind boots in and of itself is like a big departure from its platforming roots, and then they'd go full in on the third-person shooting stuff in Gladiator.
Yeah, maybe it's just like the story and like all the variety, which makes me like the third more.
Yeah. I think eventually the Ratchet with the PS3 games, they went back to more of a platforming focus. But what it never the franchise never really went back to was kind of the open nature of the levels, where in the first 2 games you'd have like so many, like you'd arrive on a planet, there'd be 3 different routes, and then one of those routes could take you to a different planet, and you might have to go back to the old planet. And so there was still a bit of that sort of Spyro DNA, a bit of that old school platform exploration element where it wasn't just like going through linear levels, and the series kind of abandoned that, and that kind of disappointed me, because I always liked that aspect of the first 2 games of kind of being an explorer. They kind of brought it back a bit in the reboot, but not really. This game has like a couple of moments where you can go off in different directions. But that's just a thing, you know, modern gaming. They don't want you to get lost, which is a shame.
There's a golden thingy up there. Oh, evolution!
The electricity in the background became red instead of blue.
Why can't you just let me have fun? That's all I want, just fun.
Dude, when we get to level 5, it will actually change into something else.
Okay. It's taken a while for my mini turret gun to actually go to level 2.
And you were talking about how you're such a pro, man.
Just saying, you know, just saying.
Are you gonna get that trophy that was back there?
Yeah, I'll get it.
Trophies are a bit weird. I don't really get the idea of having a trophy of a character from the story just in the environment. I know it's like, okay, just, you know, who cares? It's a platform game. What does it matter that you're collecting? But, you know, at least the gold bolts and the platinum bolts, you know, they were like somewhat, you know, consistent with the universe.
Yes, oh, yes.
Instead of collecting a Big Owl trophy, I mean, what is this madness? Like...
Oh man, I wonder if I can trade that in for some, like, bolts and whatnot.
I don't know, man.
Okay, what I was going wrong with there is I was trying to spam it the way you do in, like, Sonic and Mario. No, it's a bit more slower and deliberate.
Yeah, you know, there's some actual gameplay going on in this game, man.
Speaking of gameplay, oh man, we're at the bottom of the barrel right now. I should actually try and lead my shots, you know?
Dude, you just use the bomb because you can just throw that thing anywhere.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah, you got it, man. You got it.
Ratchet Clank takes me back to a time where instead of like learning about games immediately after they were announced, I'd like find out about them in magazines like months before they were coming out.
Well, you know, the internet was less prevalent back then, so...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they even announced these things. I mean, I assume they would. I assume they would say, oh yeah, Ratchet Clank 2 has been announced, but I found out about it just reading a magazine. I was like, holy shit, Ratchet Clank 2. And then suddenly it was like... That was a better time, to be honest.
Better time, Jesus, Charlie.
That was a better time when you just look in a magazine and be like, oh, there's a sequel to the game I like. And then you'd buy it a few months later and it'd be like, oh, this is pretty good. I didn't have impossible expectations because there was some, like, big pop song on this CGI trailer that I got to see a year before the game came out.
Which game are you referring to here? Because it sounds very specific.
Every game.
Every single game. Sonic,
game.
Mario, Hamtaro, it's got them all.
Hey man, by the time this goes up, Final Fantasy 15 will be out.
Oh yeah, so it will.
And the world will have known if the 10-year wait was worth it.